And welcome to Tribune Sports Live, brought to you by Paul Davis Restoration of Birmingham, Zack Steele along with Damian Mitchell. And Damian, not a great weekend for teams in Tribune land.
No, it wasn't. We finished up 1-2. Very, very disappointing in the Hewitt-Trussville loss, and also Springville loss as well. Clay-Chalkville dominated as usual. 1-2 again, 1-2 in the area, but. The playoffs are coming now, so it's a new season.
Yeah, a little bit of work to do before the playoffs. A couple of teams, Pinson Valley and Clay-Chalkville, have games, but Hewitt-Trussville, they get a bye week before their playoff game, and then Springville's all done for the year. So when we come back, we'll get into that Hewitt-Trussville game, the tough loss to Thompson of Alabaster. We'll be back in just a moment.
Congratulations to Hewitt-Trussville's Javarius Johnson for this week's selection for the most valuable player, presented by Ortho Alabama Spine and Sports. Johnson finished with 232 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns, and also added a 99-yard kickoff return for a touchdown as well, and the Huskies' 63-49 loss to Thompson. Congratulations, Javarius, and thanks to Ortho Alabama Spine and Sports for sponsoring the Most Valuable Player Award. Congratulations to Leon Silman from Centerpoint for this week's selection for the Bez Express Scholar Athlete of the Week. Congratulations on academic and athletic success, and thanks to Bez Express for supporting the student athletes in our area.
Trussville Vision Care is now proud to offer sports vision training for athletes. This sports-specific training improves hand-eye coordination and reaction time. As a former college athlete, Dr. Steele knows how important perfect vision is to succeed on the athletic field. For athletes, 20/20 vision is not enough. Trussville Vision Care.
Paul Davis Emergency Services of Northeast Birmingham helps by providing needed cleanup and restoration services. Through the appropriate tools and processes, we avoid wasting valuable time to get your property to its previous state as quickly as we possibly can.
Give it a shot!
The former Hewitt-Trussville Huskies and your Boston Warriors.
All right, welcome back. And Damian, we were talking about this a little bit before we got on the air. Hewitt goes in, they get up 28-0, and we're all thinking this one's going to be a blowout. And then things changed quickly.
Yeah, when you're up 28-0 on somebody, you can't let what happened to Hewitt-Trussville happen. And with the playoffs looming in 7A, they don't look like a championship team, because championship teams do not let things like this happen. You know, they went from being potentially number 2 seed in the playoffs to dropping all the way to a number 4 seed, and they have to travel the first round. And no matter what happened, no matter what people say, when you go into the playoffs, it's a different mindset. It's a new season. And to travel that first week, you're putting yourself behind the 8 ball.
Absolutely. They're going to travel to James Clemens. Talk about their mindset and their mentality. You know, in this off week, getting ready for James Clemens. You know, how do they put this behind them? I mean, this was a game, it looked like in the first quarter, it's on ESPN, we're watching it. I mean, it looks like it's going to be a blowout. I mean, it looked like it was all Hewitt-Trussville. They were bending but not breaking against the Thompson offense. You know, they were giving up yardage, but they were stopping them in the red zone. And then all of a sudden, the skies open up and it's a downpour.
Yeah, and the thing about Hewitt-Trussville, I don't think they know who their identity is at this point, because, you know, coming into the season, I always questioned the defense. I questioned the defense early in the season, and then they got into a groove where they were shutting people down on the defensive side of the ball. And I know they ran into, you know, a quarterback that not many people have seen before, in Talia Tagovailoa, but you can't expect to be a championship team if you're giving up 63 points in basically 3 quarters.
A lot of that was on the ground.
And it was. And I mean, that's where Hewitt-Trussville has to understand that, you know, they're going to run into some more teams and better teams in the playoffs that are going to see this film. and you have to, eliminate all wrong. You have to go back into the drawing board. I mean, it's going to come down to X's and O's and understanding that, if they take another loss, their season's done. So it could be, something that could change this program turn this program around into a state championship level caliber team. But it's gonna have to come through work and practice and buckling down on the small thing, on the little things.
Well, we know that they have on paper the team to do it. They've got a lot of blue chip players. Paul Tyson had a really nice game Friday night. We need to mention some of the positives. Tyson had a nice game. Johnson had a really nice game. Armani Goodwin had a very nice game for Hewitt. He had 192 yards rushing and some change. So, offensively, they're still doing what they're supposed to do. And they had a couple of drives where they stalled out, and that was the difference in a game when you're when it's a scoring fest, a couple of stalled drives is enough to beat you. So
yeah.
So Hewitt's going to go on the road. They drop. It was a strange Friday night because you had 4 teams vying for the number 1 spot in that region, and so now Hewitt-Trussville drops all the way from what could have potentially been a number 1 seed with a victory to now a number 4 seed. They got to go on the road. They're going to take on a James Clemens team. And we'll talk about this more in the coming weeks. A James Clemens team that they should be pretty familiar with.
Yeah, and I mean, James Clemens, they're up there in 7A. They were a region opponent for Hewitt-Trussville the past couple of years until this year. So they're going to go in and know that they have to play a top-level team caliber because it's playoff time. Everybody, it's a clean slate. Everybody goes in 0-0. It's a new season. So I look for Hewitt-Trussville to bounce back and hopefully come out with a victory. All
right. When we come back, we're going to talk about ClayChalkville and their easy victory over Huffman.
Have you been to Discount Warehouse lately? New electronics, brand name makeup, and bedding arrive daily. Follow their Facebook page to find out about special sales on clothing, tools, and fireworks. Discount Warehouse, where you will never pay retail price.
Jefferson Memorial Funeral Home and Gardens is home-owned and operated by the Steele family. I've known Eddie Steele and his son Adam for over 25 years. They're community-oriented and, more importantly, good folks who know how to take care of people in their time of need. That's how Jefferson Memorial became Trussville's funeral home and cemetery. Jefferson Memorial is located at 1591 Gadsden Highway. You can call them at 322-0543. Before your need arises, let Jefferson Memorial family take care of your family.
All right, welcome back. And Damian, another week for ClayChalkville, another blowout victory. They take on Huffman in their last region game and wear them out.
Yeah, we probably sound like a broken record, but ClayChalkville has hit their stride, and they look very dominant heading into the playoffs. They want to prove to people that they are if not the next best team, the best team in 6A behind Pinson Valley. They did lose to Pinson Valley early, and they have each and every week have shown that they're over that. It's in the past, and each game presents itself, and they still look better and better each week.
Well, you say they're over it. I don't think they're over it. I think they're using it as motivation because I think they want to see Pinson again, and I think I want to see that one again too. So Willie Miller, a great ball game, had 5 total touchdowns, 2 passing, 3 rushing. Talk about the job he's done this season.
He has done everything that Coach Gilmer has asked for him. He's been the bell cow that he said he would be at the beginning of the season. They were like, Willie is the engine, and he is running the engine very smoothly with the team. He has playmakers all over the field. Jermichael Thompson starting to become his go-to wideout. The playmakers that they have, they should be able to match up with Pinson Valley, and that rematch would be very, very nice to look to see.
It should be interesting. They're at home this week against Gadsden City, a team that's not going to the playoffs. They're 3-6. However, they have won 3 games in a row and beaten a couple of playoff teams, so that one could be interesting. I still think Clay's got the advantage there.
Yeah, ClayChalkville, they're on a roll, and at Gadsden City, they're not playing for anything but spoiler at this point, just to put a blemish on ClayChalkville's record. And I don't think Coach Gilmer's going to let that happen. So
I'm kind of there with you. We'll get into that a little bit more later in the show. When we come back, we're going to talk about Springville and their season finale versus St. Clair County.
For every step of the home buying process, turn to Laura Cardwell-Dennis with Keller Williams Trussville and Tanya Golden with First Bank Mortgage, located in the new Keller Williams office in downtown Trussville. They work together to ensure a pleasant home buying experience because their special interest is you. Kemp's Kitchen, located in the Trussville Shopping Center near the 459 Highway 11 interchange. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the whole family. And watch for our specials on 50-cent wings.
All right, welcome back. And Damian, this one was a little disappointing. We thought Springville would go into this game and win this game against a winless St. Clair County High School. They come in and they lose this one 18-12.
Yeah, this was a very, very disappointing way for the Springville season to end, especially one that we had hopes for maybe not a playoff contender, but a better team than they had last year. They looked out of whack. They didn't play inspired football to me. St. Clair County winless, they're basically just playing to just get one. And Springville seemed like they were the team that were searching for their first win of the season. They looked out of whack, and it was not a great way to end that season.
Well, it wasn't a great way to end the season, but overall, I think that they have to be somewhat pleased with their progress. They've gotten better this year over last year, considering a coaching change in the middle of the summer. They've changed their attitude a little bit, and I think that they have gotten better. They have, and some of those games that they were in, some of the games that they lost, rather, some of them were blowouts, but most of them, they were in it for the most part. So I think what goes into the off season for them is to just find that next step, that next level. They have improved from last year to this year. Everybody's a year older. Everybody's a year more comfortable. And Coach Graben finally is going to have an off season where he's the guy that's going to run the ship, make sure everybody's on board. And I look for them to improve next year. All right, when we come back, we're going to have a couple predictions for you about Pinson Valley and Clay-Chalkville. We'll be back in just a moment.
I'm Drew Lawley, General Manager at Courtesy Buick GMC. Come see us at Courtesy, where we have over 300 vehicles to choose from, including GMCs, Buicks, and certified pre-owned vehicles. Come see us at Courtesy or check us out at courtesybirmingham.com. Proud supporter of our area high school teams.
All right, welcome back to Tribune Sports Live, brought to you by Paul Davis Restoration of Birmingham. And Damian, just only two predictions this week. We got Clay-Chalkville taking on Gadsden City. We got Pinson taking on Lee of Huntsville, a 7A school. We'll start with Pinson taking on Lee of Huntsville. Well, yeah, Pinson Valley's coming off another bye week. Bo Nix and his offense, they're going to keep rolling. They're heading to the playoffs. I don't see them losing to Lee. I know there's a higher classification, but I don't see them having much of a drop off with this game. I agree with you. And you go back and you look at scores. Clay-Chalkville took on James Clemens, the team that won that region, and defeated them earlier in the season. So now they're going to be taking on one of the bottom dwellers of that region, a team that lately has not been very good. I like Pinson in this one big as well. Yeah. All right, so moving on, Clay hosting Gadsden City. And Gadsden City's a team, they've won some games, they got a lot of athletes. They didn't quite put it together this season. Any look ahead for Clay going into this one? Oh, no. Coach Gilmer's going to take this like he has week by week. He's not going to look ahead for the playoffs. So I will say this, if they jump out in a big lead against Gadsden City, I think that Coach Gilmer's going to probably take some of the starters out, make sure they're well rested leading into the playoffs, because you don't want to have any big-time injuries to your playmakers or anything heading to the second part of the season. And I believe Clay-Chalkville's going to win this one big as well. Well, I'm with you there. I think this game may be close first quarter, maybe even first half. Gadsden City's got enough, athletes to hang around with them for a little while. But I think Clay is just too good in the long run, and they're going to win this ball game. All right, that's our show for this week. We'll be back next week with a couple of reviews and playoff predictions. For Damian Mitchell, I'm Zack Steele. So long, everyone.